Close your eyes for a moment and imagine. You're standing in a dark hallway. In front of you, there are two doors. One leads to the life you've always known. Safe, predictable, comfortable. The other is a mystery. Now, open your eyes. Sofia, a woman who had everything, chose the second door. And what she found on the other side challenged everything she believed to be true. Are you ready to make the same choice? Warning, what you are about to see is controversial. Some call it a miracle, others a coincidence. Some say it's just the power of the mind. But one thing is certain, after this story, your perception of reality will never be the same. And the truth Sofia discovered, it's closer than you think. You will feel a deep connection with every word in this video. Each scene will seem familiar, as if it's happening to you. And when we reach the end, you will have a revelation so powerful that it will make you question everything you thought you knew about success, happiness, and the very meaning of life. Caution, this story is not for everyone. If you are content with an ordinary, mediocre, and purposeless life, perhaps it's best to stop here. But if you feel there's something greater calling you, if you're ready to awaken a power that has always been within you, then stay with us. Because in the next few minutes, you will witness a transformation that some call impossible. And in the end, you will have the chance to make a choice that could change everything. Sofia's journey and yours begins now. Are you ready? Sofia raised her glass. So today I toast not just to my life, but to the journey we've shared. I toast to the power of prayer, which transforms hearts and lives. And I toast to you, my family chosen by God, who have taught me the true meaning of love and purpose. As the room erupted in applause and embraces, Sofia felt an indescribable wave of gratitude. Her life had become a living testimony to the power of prayer, proof that with faith, even the hardest heart can be transformed. And so, what began as a simple conversation with a cleaning lady in a hospital room had grown into a decades-long journey of growth, love, and positive impact on the world. Sofia knew her story was far from over. Each new day brought new opportunities to pray, love, and serve, and she was eager to see what miracles the future held. For as she had learned, with the power of prayer, anything is possible. For nothing will be impossible with God. Luke 1:37. Sofia had always believed she had complete control over her life. At 32, she was a successful executive at a multinational company, with a luxury apartment in the heart of the city and an enviable social circle. Her motto was, if you want something, earn it yourself. The idea of relying on anything beyond her own effort seemed absurd, but fate had different plans for Sofia. On what seemed like a regular Monday morning, Sofia woke up with a sharp pain in her chest. She ignored it, assuming it was just stress. After all, she had a crucial presentation that day. As she got ready, the pain intensified. Cold sweat trickled down her forehead, her vision blurred. This can't be happening, she thought, trying to maintain control. But it was. Sofia collapsed in her apartment, alone. Hours later, she woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by machines and the constant sound of beeping. A doctor with a serious expression approached. Sofia, you had a heart attack. It was close. If your neighbor hadn't heard a noise and called emergency services. The doctor's words echoed in her mind but felt distant, unreal. How could she, so young and healthy, have a heart attack? I need to get out of here, Sofia murmured, trying to get up. The doctor gently stopped her. Sofia, you need to stay under observation. Your body has been through a major trauma. It needs time to recover. Time, the word Sofia hated most. Time meant losing control, missed opportunities, failure. In the days that followed, Sofia found herself confined to a hospital bed, helpless and frustrated. Her mind, once occupied with meetings and strategies, now wandered aimlessly. It was in this moment of vulnerability that she met Dona Cida, the kind elderly woman who cleaned her room every morning. Dona Cida, with her 65 years and a contagious smile, radiated a peace that intrigued Sofia. One day, noticing the patient's restlessness, Dona Cida asked, "Have you ever tried talking to God?" Sofia almost laughed. "Talking to God? I barely have time to talk to real people." Dona Cida smiled, unoffended. "You know, my dear, sometimes it's in the hardest moments that we discover our true strength, and that strength doesn't always come just from ourselves." Sofia remained silent, pondering the woman's words. Noticing her interest, Dona Cida continued. I remember a verse that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Proverbs 3:5. Sometimes we need to let go of the reins and trust. Something in those words touched Sofia deeply. Perhaps it was the sincerity in Donacita's eyes, or maybe it was her own desperation searching for a way out. That night, for the first time in years, Sofia closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. "God, if you're there, help me. I don't know what to do anymore." It was a brief moment, almost imperceptible, but something changed within Sofia at that instant. A small flame of hope ignited in her heart. In the days that followed, Sofia began to notice small changes. The pain in her chest gradually subsided. Her mood improved, and surprisingly, she started to look forward to Donacita's daily visits, eager for her stories and words of wisdom. One morning, Donacita arrived with a small book in her hands. "I brought something for you, my dear," she said, handing the object to Sofia. It was a pocket Bible, worn from use but well cared for. Sofia hesitated for a moment before taking it. "You don't need to read it all at once," Donacita smiled. "Start slowly. Let the words speak to you." That night, alone in her room, Sofia opened the book. Her eyes fell on a verse. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. The words seemed to leap off the page, speaking directly to her weary soul. Sofia felt a wave of emotion envelop her. Tears, long suppressed, began to flow freely. In that moment, Sofia realized that her journey of healing was not just physical. Something within her was changing, awakening to a reality beyond the corporate world and material achievements. As the days passed, Sofia found herself increasingly immersed in the stories and teachings of the Bible. Each verse felt like a revelation, a new perspective on life and its purpose. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. This verse in particular resonated deeply with Sofia. She began to wonder, what if all her plans and ambitions had been just a fraction of what life truly had to offer? With each page turned, each whispered prayer, Sofia felt a transformation occurring within her. The peace that had once seemed so elusive now enveloped her like a comforting cloak. Her physical recovery also progressed remarkably. The doctors were impressed with the speed of her improvement. "It's almost a miracle," one of them commented during a visit. Sofia only smiled, knowing in her heart that it was exactly that. As Sofia healed, she began to see the world with new eyes. The small things that once went unnoticed now held new meaning. The smile of a nurse, the warmth of the sun streaming through the hospital window, even the taste of hospital food seemed different. One day, while flipping through the Bible, Sofia came across a verse that made her pause and reflect deeply. "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Matthew 6:34. These words hit Sofia like a revelation. How long had she lived constantly in the future? Planning, worrying, forgetting to live in the present. Prayer and reading the Bible were teaching her the art of being present, of trusting. As the days went by, Sofia began to establish a routine of prayer. Every morning, before even opening her eyes, she gave thanks for the new day. At night, she reflected on the blessings received. This simple practice began to reprogram her mind, driving away anxiety and bringing a peace she had never experienced before. One day, during her usual visit, Donacita noticed the change in Sofia. "Your eyes are different, my dear," the elderly woman commented with a warm smile. "They're shining." Sofia smiled back, feeling a wave of gratitude. "Donacita, I don't even know how to thank you. You opened my eyes to something I didn't even know I needed." Donacita took Sofia's hand in hers. "It wasn't me, dear. It was God working through me. Remember, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." John 15:5. The words deeply touched Sofia. She began to understand that her transformation wasn't something she was doing on her own, but a process guided by a higher power. Weeks passed, and finally the day of Sofia's discharge arrived. As she packed her things, she felt a mixture of emotions. She was eager to return to her life, but at the same time, she feared losing the peace she had found in the hospital. At that moment, she remembered another verse she had read. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:6-7. Taking a deep breath, Sofia closed her eyes and offered a silent prayer, asking for strength and guidance for the days ahead. As she left the hospital, Sofia was surprised by a group of coworkers who had come to welcome her. Amidst flowers and hugs, she noticed something different. The competitive glances and tension that used to characterize their interactions had been replaced by genuine concern and affection. "Sofia, we missed you," said Maria, a colleague with whom Sofia often had conflicts. "The office isn't the same without you." Touched by the sincerity in Maria's words, Sofia felt tears welling up in her eyes. "Thank you," she replied, embracing her colleague. "I missed all of you too." In the days that followed, Sofia faced the challenge of reintegrating into her previous life, but now with a new perspective. Her apartment, once a symbol of status, now seemed empty and cold. She decided to make changes, making it more welcoming and inviting for gatherings with friends and moments of reflection. At work, Sofia surprised everyone with her new attitude. Where there had once been a relentless executive focused solely on results, there was now a compassionate leader who valued her team's well-being as much as the company's success. As the days went by, Sofia began to establish a routine of prayer. Every morning, before even opening her eyes, she gave thanks for the new day. At night, she reflected on the blessings received. This simple practice began to reprogram her mind, driving away anxiety and bringing a peace she had never experienced before. One day, during her usual visit, Donna Sita noticed the change in Sofia. "Your eyes are different, my dear," the elderly woman commented with a warm smile. "They're shining." Sofia smiled back, feeling a wave of gratitude. "Donna Sita, I don't even know how to thank you. You opened my eyes to something I didn't even know I needed." Donna Sita took Sofia's hand in hers. "It wasn't me, dear. It was God working through me. Remember, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." John 15:5. The words deeply touched Sofia. She began to understand that her transformation wasn't something she was doing on her own, but a process guided by a higher power. Weeks passed, and finally the day of Sofia's discharge arrived. As she packed her things, she felt a mixture of emotions. She was eager to return to her life, but at the same time, she feared losing the peace she had found in the hospital. At that moment, she remembered another verse she had read. "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Philippians 4:6-7. Taking a deep breath, Sofia closed her eyes and offered a silent prayer, asking for strength and guidance for the days ahead. As she left the hospital, Sofia was surprised by a group of coworkers who had come to welcome her. Amidst flowers and hugs, she noticed something different. The competitive glances and tension that used to characterize their interactions had been replaced by genuine concern and affection. "Sofia, we missed you," said Maria, a colleague with whom Sofia often had conflicts. "The office isn't the same without you." Touched by the sincerity in Maria's words, Sofia felt tears welling up in her eyes. "Thank you," she replied, embracing her colleague. "I missed all of you too." In the days that followed, Sofia faced the challenge of reintegrating into her previous life, but now with a new perspective. Her apartment, once a symbol of status, now seemed empty and cold. She decided to make changes, making it more welcoming and inviting for gatherings with friends and moments of reflection. At work, Sofia surprised everyone with her new attitude. Where there had once been a relentless executive focused solely on results, there was now a compassionate leader who valued her team's well-being as much as the company's success. Donna Sita smiled gently. "It wasn't me, dear. It was the power of prayer. Always remember, I can do all things through him who gives me strength." Philippians 4:13. In that moment, sitting beside Donna Sita, Sofia felt a profound sense of peace and purpose. She knew that her journey of faith was just beginning, but she was eager to see where God would lead her next. And so what began as a health crisis became the greatest blessing of Sofia's life. Through the power of prayer, she not only found physical healing, but also a spiritual transformation that touched every aspect of her existence. Sofia learned that true strength does not come from control or personal power, but from surrender and trust in something greater than ourselves. And with each new day, each new prayer, she continued to discover the infinite possibilities of a life guided by faith. In the years that followed, Sofia's life continued to unfold in ways she could never have imagined. Her personal transformation had a ripple effect, influencing not only her life, but also the lives of everyone around her. At the company, Sofia implemented an optional mindfulness and prayer policy before important meetings. Initially met with skepticism, the practice soon became popular, with many employees reporting greater mental clarity and reduced stress. Before we make important decisions, Sofia would often say, "Let's remember the words of James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." The impact was remarkable. Productivity increased, the work environment became more harmonious, and the company began to be recognized not only for its financial results, but also for its culture of care and compassion. Sofia also expanded her volunteer work. Inspired by her own journey, she founded a nonprofit organization called Transformed Hearts, dedicated to providing spiritual and emotional support to executives experiencing burnout and individuals facing life crises. In one of the group sessions, Sofia shared, "Remember, friends, no matter how dark the night may seem, the dawn always comes. As it says in Psalm 30:5, weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." Her words, filled with authenticity and compassion, deeply touched those who heard them. Many participants reported experiences of healing and renewal similar to Sofia's. In her personal life, Sofia discovered a new passion for photography. She began capturing images that reflected the beauty and grace she now saw everywhere. Her photos, often accompanied by Bible verses, gained popularity on social media, inspiring thousands of followers. One day, Sofia received an unexpected invitation to give a TED Talk about her journey of transformation. Initially hesitant, she remembered the words of Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." On stage, before an audience of thousands and cameras broadcasting to the world, Sofia shared her story with moving honesty. She spoke about her former self, focused solely on material success, and how a health crisis led her to discover the transformative power of prayer and faith. Prayer, she said, is not just a request to the divine. It is a dialogue, a deep connection with something greater than ourselves. It is through this connection that we find our true essence and purpose. Her talk ended with a standing ovation, and social media exploded with messages from people deeply touched by her words. Sofia had become a beacon of hope for many. Years later, on her 50th birthday, Sofia organized a grand celebration. Among the guests were former colleagues, young people she had mentored, participants from her support groups, and even some of the doctors and nurses who had cared for her during her hospitalization. The celebration was a testament to the life Sofia had built, a life rooted in faith, service, and compassion. As she looked around at the faces of those whose lives she had touched, Sofia felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Her journey, which began in a moment of crisis, had led her to a life of purpose and fulfillment beyond anything she could have imagined. That evening, as the party wound down and Sofia sat quietly reflecting on the years that had passed, she opened her Bible to one of her favorite verses. "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." Psalm 126:3. And indeed, her life was a testament to that joy, a joy born from faith, resilience, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. The guest of honor, of course, was Dona Sita, now over 80 years old, but still radiant with the same inner light that had touched Sofia so many years ago. When it was time for the speeches, Sofia stood up, looking with gratitude at the faces around her. 18 years ago, she began, "I thought I had everything. Today, I know I had nothing of what truly matters. Each of you here represents a blessing, a lesson, a miracle in my life." She paused, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. I've learned that life isn't about accumulating successes or possessions. It's about connections. Connections with others, with ourselves, and above all, with God. As it says in 1 Corinthians 13:13, now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. And so, Sofia discovered that true power wasn't in the control she had always sought, but in surrender. Close your eyes again. Imagine yourself standing on the top of a mountain, the gentle wind caressing your face. Take a deep breath. Feel the peace that Sofia found flowing through you. Now open your eyes. The final revelation of Sofia, the miracle that transformed her life, didn't come from the outside. It was within her all along, and it's within you too. Prayer, that intimate conversation with the Creator, wasn't just a request to the heavens. It was a key that unlocked a power capable of reshaping realities, healing hearts, and transcending limits. Sofia discovered that every word whispered in prayer was like planting a seed in the universe, and the universe always responds. But here's the most surprising insight. Prayer doesn't just change circumstances, it changes you. And now you have a choice. You can close this video and return to your everyday life, or you can embark on the same transformative journey that Sofia experienced. If you're ready to unlock the power that has always been within you, if you want to experience the same transformation that changed Sofia's life and the lives of thousands of others, then this is for you. Introducing 21 Days of Transformative Prayer, a guide to spiritual renewal. This isn't just another ebook, it's a portal to a new reality. In just 21 days, you will unlock the power of transformative prayer, experience a peace that surpasses all understanding, discover your true purpose, turn challenges into miraculous opportunities, and the best part, click the link in the first pinned comment now and begin your journey of transformation immediately. Remember, just like for Sofia, this could be the choice that changes everything. Don't let this opportunity pass by. Your new life is just one click away. Click now and discover the power that has always been within you.